Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed that last set of learning lessons for that client project. Now, I'm excited about this one because we're going to dive into advanced techniques and we're going to do another breakdown and kind of case study on a music video. Now, this one's going to be exciting because we shot everything on all red cameras. So 4K and 6K is what we're working with here. We shot all of our underwater stuff on the red Epic, I want to say. Huge underwater housing, really cool. Everything was shot at 120 frames per second, super slow mo. And then we shot everything that's normal, like daytime or on land footage, is shot on the red Komodo at 60 frames a second. And I'm placing this directly after what we just worked on because this is kind of the opposite. The other project had a lot of complexity in the audio level of things, different sound effects, multiple soundtracks, music layers, dialogue coming in and out, and a lot of different moments and a lot of different beats. Now, this is the exact opposite. So I wanted to have contrast for you so that you can learn how it's over here on this side of things and how to do things over here on a different side of things. So this is going to be a very complex video segment with only one audio track throughout the whole edit. So there's really no audio transitions, no different music tracks, no going from dialogue to this to that. So it's the exact opposite of the other track. And I already said this, but that's why I'm putting these back to back. So let's go ahead and hop into the screen cap and view what the project looks like. And then we're going to dive into breaking down some really unique moments. Okay, so what we have here is our music video edit. And like I mentioned, we have one audio track here. There's one very, very minimal just sound of that I added of just ocean at this very ending outro where the client's logo comes up. But I mean, look at this. This is a pretty damn complex, dang complex timeline. So we're going to dive into these different aspects and let's first, before we watch the video, let's go ahead and just kind of review here. So we have our B-roll selects. We can go ahead and click that. And this is just like what we've done earlier in the course, which is to go through, take our raw footage and translate that into selects. So like I said, I mean, look at that. We have some really cool stuff that we're going to be working with. And because this shot was so shooting intensive, there's a daytime shooting sequence, there's a fire shooting sequence. All the different locations have their own sequence themselves. So this is literally 12 minutes of selects from just one location in the daytime. So you can see we've done the process that we've worked on together earlier in the course of labeling and coloring our content to properly organize things in a way that we believe is the easiest to jump back into this edit and find exactly what we're looking for. We then have the selects from our nighttime fire sequence. So this is really cool stuff shot at 60 frames per second. We had a bonfire going, the artist dancing, moving in front of the scene and performing. And then we have the nighttime singing sequence. For this specifically, I went ahead and pulled the selects, but because it was a performance, I linked and synced up all of the best shots. So you could see them layered here, that this is basically the same as this and as far as pulling selects, but because she's singing, I made the best ones, the best performance visible. And that's why things are stacked for this kind of selects sequence. So if we take a listen, okay, cool. So those are the best singing selects that we have. And then we have this really cool out of water mermaid vibe type content. Then we have some stock footage that I purchased for the project and I pulled selects on, but that we actually didn't even end up using in the project, which that's going to happen. That's definitely going to happen. Yeah, either a few times or multiple times in your project. So now that we know the process that we've gone through to get to where we are now in this main sequence, I'm going to close these other sequences and we're going to watch all the way through this edit and then we're going to deconstruct it.
Take a deep breath in. Find your feet. Breathe it all the way out. Take another deep breath in. Bring honor and dignity to your spine. Breathe out. Strong back, soft front, and close your eyes. Allow your tummy to relax and your breath to flow naturally. What's showing up for you today? Notice your thoughts, feelings, and sensations. As you sift and sort through them like clouds passing in your sky, see the sun setting and twinkle lights appearing. Father sky full of lights. Dear mermaid, where is your North Star? Do you see it? Take a deep breath in, breathing in all the juiciness, yumminess, and stickiness that life offers, and experience your cells revitalized. Now purposefully, intentionally breathe out your vision all the way across the sky, touching every twinkling star, across the room, watching it hit the wall, across and all the way around the world, all the way back into your next deep breath in. See the world ripple with your contribution as your North Star, whether it's behind clouds or not, guides you. What is your purpose? What is your why? Open your eyes, see your North Star, and fly. Break free from who you're supposed to be. Let go of the fears you've been carrying. Look up and follow the
Okay, so a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot of different pockets of slope. Wait. So there's a lot of different stuff going on here. And in the next video lesson, we're going to hop in and start breaking down one of these. Okay, yeah. In the next video lesson, we're going to do something. So I'll see you in the next video lesson. Okay, yes. And so we got a lot to talk about for this project. And I want to say this just once at the beginning of this chapter or the beginning of this project so I don't repeat it through the video lessons. If I'm going through the edit and you see something and you're like, wait, what? How do you do that? Why isn't he not explaining that? I'm moving past that because I've already explained it earlier in the course. So I just want to say it now. I don't have to repeat it. If you see something, you're like, wait, how the heck do you filter the audio, or how do you add a reverb, whatever it is? It's because it's already in the course. This whole portion of these showcases and case studies and breakdowns is to focus on the more complex stuff. So good. Okay, perfect. Now let's get into this edit. And I want to just show, first off, we have this text layer. So I got this from the client. This is their logo for the track that they made. And so what I did is a simple fade in and fade out. But as you can see, we did the Bezier on it. So we have this nice curve. If we don't have the Bezier, it's just linear, it's one straight line. So when it fades out, it can be a little bit more abrupt for a project like this where it's smooth and it's mysterious and it's ethereal. We want to have things right. So that's one thing right out of the gate. We have a nice soft curve that makes the fade a lot smoother like that versus right. So that's something right out of the gate. And let's kind of see, as you can kind of look here, I have, man, this is hard to see. Okay. I have these markers on this clip. Okay. Boom. And it's showing where I want my first cuts to be. And it's a pretty slow pacing at this beginning of the video. We have this opening mysterious shot where the character is swimming, but we don't quite see what it is. This is kind of a cool reveal shot where it catches your attention, and that's why I put it first. And it's also acting as a little bit of a background image for this logo to sit on top of. If I took that same logo and put it on a really clear image, it doesn't look bad, but because the background is already kind of a little bit blurry and darker, it's perfect for our opening shot.
Take a deep breath in.
And I want to mention that yes, we're following the pacing of the track. This not doom, 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 doom with the cutting. There's not a bunch of quick cuts. It's pretty slow and steady because the beginning of the song doesn't have a beat. It's not, right? There's no beat. It's just a really cool kind of atmospheric ambient noise. So you want to cut slower, but you want to find where the beat is, even if there isn't a specific instrument. So we're cutting on the different note changes and note change and note change and note change. And you see how we're holding this shot, so it's got an extra cool feel of just extra epicness overall.
Take a deep breath in. Find your feet. Breathe it all the way out.
And there's some subtleties going on here. Yes, we do see her feet in the shot. It's just kind of a little bonus that this motion that she's doing and the feeling of this song or the feeling of the shot matches up with her vocals. And then we have kind of an abstract shot of just her dress, and the vocals are breathe it all the way out or something like that. We're not showing her physically breathing out, but we're showing a shot that in an abstract creative way, it doesn't really make sense on paper that okay, I have breathe it all the way out, and then if I write down show dress shot, you wouldn't really compute or make sense. But if you see the motion of the dress, it kind of has a metaphor simile kind of effect to what she's saying. So hopefully you're understanding that kind of subtlety. Let's take a look.
A deep breath in. Find your feet. Breathe it all the way out. Take another deep breath in. Bring honor.
Okay, perfect. So as you can see, we're cutting with the major parts of the track and her vocals. And this is something I want to share called a match cut. Oh, wait, is it? Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is a match cut. So we have her hand in roughly the top right part of the frame. In the following shot, we have her hand in a different location, a different time of day, a completely different part of the production, roughly in the top right part of the frame, right? So you can kind of create some cool visual moments by what's called a match cut. Now, what that means is we're basically having two separate images with a very similar area of where the viewer is looking. When you look at this shot, I can guarantee your eye is looking right here. It's not looking over here. It's not looking over here. It's going to be looking right here. Now, in this next shot, your eye is already going to be resting at this part of the image. So when this shot comes in,
take another deep breath in.
Your eye is already looking there. And I guarantee you, when you look at this image, your eye is going to start here. It's going to go here, 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 here. So if you pay attention to where your eye is looking at the image consciously, you'll find that. And that's a really cool way to use a match cut is I'm looking here, the next part of the image, I'm looking at the same place, and then I can look elsewhere. I'm looking here, the next cut or the next image, boom, I'm still looking there. That creates seamless edits, and that's a really cool way to change location kind of seamlessly or in a unique way, is to find similarities of where the viewer is looking and what the contents of that actual image is. Now let's move forward and find some other unique parts of this edit. Now let's continue to move forward in this edit, and now I want to talk about overlays. So we could see here, and actually you can also just take notice of, look at our pacing change. We're going shot, 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 shots, compared to the intro, where here you can actually see in the timeline that you can see these beats, right? These moments where she's speaking. Boom, boom. They look like big mountains in our audio. And you can see this kind of smooth audio at this part. And we have a lot slower or less amount of shots at this smooth part. And as the energy picks up in her voice, boom, boom, boom. So that's just something to take notice of. We're analyzing, watching, and listening to the audio and reading that audio waveform almost as a I'm doing this a lot now. I don't know why. Almost as a sheet of music that's showing us how the edit should come together. Now, that's not what we're supposed to be talking about, but what we want to talk about is overlays. So let's take a look at this shot.
Take another deep breath in. Bring honor and dignity to your spine. Breathe out. Breathe out.
Okay, so I'm sure you notice these nice, cool looking. I'm gonna have to turn down the resolution because these are such high res files. It's starting to make my computer, well, the fan on my computer is going crazy, but it's actually starting to make the screen capture lag, and I don't want it lagging for your enjoyments is not good. So I'm going to turn that down to half. And yeah, let's take a look at these overlays. So if I double click this overlay, it's going to bring it up over here. And this is essentially what I'm adding on top of the footage. This one is another one that we have right here. It's filling this part of the frame. Looks really nice. But by itself, it doesn't look all that interesting. So what are we doing here? So basically, I have this overlay, and by itself, it just has a black background. But if I click it, go up to the effects control, go down to the blending mode, which we've discussed. I promise I was not going to repeat that. Okay, but yes, go to the blending mode. And my favorite is to use screen for film burns and other overlays that are similar. We can use lighten. It'll slightly change the way it looks. It doesn't ever look as natural for me. Like, I don't like that. If we did darken, it would completely change the vibe completely. We don't want that. If we did add, I don't like that because it overexposes the footage too much. You can see all this grain, and that's just not a good look. So for film burns, I always use screen as the blending mode. That's what's creating this really cool, sunny, warm kind of feeling. Now, you don't want to just put film burns wherever in the edit. You want to do it intentionally. Same with all transitions and with all overlays. The reason I decided to add it here is because the coloring of this footage is like, look at the warmth and the light in this shot. And if you see this shot, it's got plenty of feeling and color going on. But if I were to remove these two overlays, when it comes to these shots, there was just something missing, even with the color correction. I mean, this is without color correction. There's a lot missing there. But with the color correction, bring honor and dignity to your spine. It just needed something. So, boom, we drop in these overlays. To your spine. And it takes a little bit of fine tuning, you can, drag them out and find the right moment of the visual that you want to have. Like, there's different moments with the film burns that you can move around and sync them up so that they come on into screen, synced up to the words or to the music. Breathe out. So that was the process there. Now, they do work well also for creating a kind of transition between shots. So this is going to come up, and boom, as the flash from the film burn is going away, that's a perfect time to go into your next cut. Boom. So without, it's okay. Not bad. But, we're syncing up the movement of her legs here too as well. She's stepping forward, and then she's stepping forward here. So we're completing her motion in two different shots. Very similar, actually, to the match cut that we were talking about between the hand and the hand. Little details that make this flow really well. Like these flow seamlessly into each other. That's why the match cut. What else benefits or takes that to another level is having something like a film burn that's flashing right as these two transition into each other. Right. And we have another film burn as well if we scoot forward in the edit. Strong back, soft front, and close your eyes. Okay. So the reason I did that is because this shot is actually a stock footage shot. So it had the perfect kind of framing that I wanted, this really cool macro kind of feel where all of a sudden this big, beautiful eye is in frame when she's talking about closing your eyes, creates a powerful moment. Now, I added this film burn because this is a stock footage shot that didn't really match up with the rest of the footage. So if I hit play,
Soft front.
we're at the beach. This has a certain kind of softness to it and coloring. And then we cut to this studio lighting shot of someone's eye is pretty abrupt, especially when we go to, again, sunny daylight beach footage.
And close your eyes.
So boom, boom. It's okay, you know.
Soft front. And close your eyes.
It's okay, but this just seems really out of place. So if I turn back on our film burns and let it play,
Drawn back. Soft front. And close your eyes.
it really does a good job of blending together and making it more of an artistic cutaway shot than a what the heck, what is this random eye doing here that's definitely not at the beach. So you can use the overlays to create a more of a blending between shots, and then you can also use it to warm up the footage, especially because most almost all film burns have that orange reddish tones that when you drag it in, turn the blending mode to screen, it's gonna do a great job of adding those warm tones on top of your footage.